problem that I have, I think the police did what they were supposed to do. They came in, they came through the door, they arrested him, he's bonded out since. The problem that I have is that there's this thing that we're dealing with right now that's called mental issue.
There's this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul. If you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen.
You know, it already happened. You knew it happened, and you made the fight anyway. So now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh, no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yeah, the history was already there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, the girl now is coming with a civil suit.
Yes.
She probably saw that he signed the Jake Paul fight.
Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back after Gervonta Davis's arrest. He spoke strongly and pointed out that the victim who went through the situation needs care and consultation. He stressed that brushing it off as just a mental issue ignores the pain and damage done to others, demanding real accountability beyond sympathy. He also mentioned that Tank has destroyed his career with this incident.
Anytime a protector is the abuser, you lose a sense of protection of what you think a protector should do. Because, nah, you're supposed to protect me from this. If someone is trying to do this to me, you're supposed to jump in and be my superhero. You're not supposed to commit this act against me.
Jake Paul reacted strongly on X after hearing about Gervonta Davis's new legal trouble. His statement reflected frustration and disappointment over what he described as repeated unprofessional behavior from Davis. Jake wrote, "Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre requests, the showing up hours late to shoots, to the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits. If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man can commit. I didn't want to give this woman abuser a platform to grow his fans and to grow his bank account." He further added, "My company champions women. I'm so sorry to everyone involved, mostly to the undercard fighters, to my team at MVP, and to my team who worked so hard prepping for this fight, sacrificing time with loved ones and kids just for this fool to lose his unintelligent mind again. It's scary that devilish men like this can rise to the top of culture and sports, including in positions of power. I hope you people moving forward look beyond his fake streetwear pieces as swag and search for something deeper to be a fan of." His post gained huge attention online, with fans and analysts debating both his words and his sudden withdrawal from the fight. Jake Paul is currently looking for a new opponent after Gervonta Davis's legal troubles forced their planned fight into uncertainty. Reports suggest that Jake and his team began shortlisting possible replacements to keep the event alive on Netflix. Among those names, former UFC champion Francis Ngannou briefly appeared as an option. However, Ngannou himself immediately rejected the idea. He made it clear that he had no interest in fighting Jake Paul and that such an offer felt disrespectful to his career. Ngannou stated that he is focused on bigger challenges in boxing and wants to compete at the highest professional level, not in entertainment-driven matches. His decision to shut down the talk ended any hope of Jake convincing him to fill in for Gervonta.
Placement for Gervonta Davis. We had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
No, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. You know, the Gervonta Davis, you count, you say, okay, the size different can level up, but at this point, for me to, it make no sense.
Francis Ngannou spoke openly against the rumors linking him to Jake Paul. He said he would never accept a fight that feels like a publicity stunt. Ngannou believes that after facing elite boxers such as Tyson Fury, a matchup with a YouTuber-turned-boxer like Jake Paul would be an insult to his skill level. His response came shortly after Jake's camp began spreading hints about possible negotiations. Ngannou addressed those rumors directly, saying that fighters should respect their craft and not turn combat sports into a show for clicks. His clear rejection emphasized his professionalism and self-worth. The fans appreciated his honesty and agreed that a matchup between him and Jake Paul would not have made sense competitively or financially.
Expecting that at all. And he said, yeah, Jake Paul, he's fighting. And I'm like, no, bro, come on. Don't, I mean, don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. He make no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight made no sense. That's what I think. That's my my position. And though I went back, I saw,
With Gervonta Davis out of the picture, Jake Paul faces a big challenge in finding a worthy opponent. Ryan Garcia's name was mentioned as a possible replacement, but that idea quickly faded. Garcia is under contract with Golden Boy Promotions, while Jake fights under his own banner with Netflix. The conflicting broadcast and promotional agreements make it nearly impossible to organize a fight between them. In addition, Ryan Garcia's team has reportedly shown no interest in joining a Netflix event. Jake's side remains hopeful to secure someone with a big enough name to keep fans interested, but the limited pool of available fighters has made things complicated.
I don't know. But if that is the route they're going, then it kind of dissuades what I thought may happen, which was this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul. If you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back or they're going to have to look to a replacement or both. I don't know. And the rumor was one of the replacements was talked about and even offered to Ryan Garcia. Well, here is Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, speaking on that rumor and what's next for Ryan.
It's happy Saturday. So I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. Ryan Garcia's probably going to go on a rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No. You have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next. See you guys.
It always seems like when Oscar decides to address something with Ryan Garcia, that he's not only addressing us, the people, that he's addressing Ryan Garcia. He's like, through us, telling Ryan, no, you're not fighting Jake Paul, no matter how much you want to fight. That's what it seems like, is like, no matter how much you want to fight Jake Paul, you're not fighting him. I don't even think that was meant for us. I think that was him telling Ryan. And you even hear it there. He's like, oh, Ryan's going to say, I'm keeping him from making money or whatever. But in this case, Oscar is right. If Ryan is signed to Golden Boy and Golden Boy is exclusively signed to DAZN for, fight rights, then Ryan has to fight on DAZN. I think that's pretty reasonable for Oscar. I didn't know that Golden Boy was exclusive to DAZN. I didn't know that was a thing. But if that is the thing, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
On the Ariel Helwani show, analysts discussed how Gervonta Davis's recent lawsuit has caused major damage to his image and career. The lawsuit came only 2 months after a previous case, making it clear that his legal troubles are not going away. Ariel Helwani and his panel described how these repeated issues show a pattern of toxic behavior that has affected not only his career, but also his relationships. They highlighted that the Netflix fight with Jake Paul is now in serious jeopardy because of these controversies. The network reportedly does not want to associate its first major boxing event with a fighter facing multiple legal issues. As a result, Jake Paul must now search for a replacement quickly to prevent the event from being canceled.
Of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Lawsuit comes 2 months after Davis's previous domestic violence case was dropped by a different ex-girlfriend and the mother of 2 of the boxer's 3 children. I just think MVP is in the business of being the home of women, right? At this point, like that's a huge part of their identity. What is their identity? It's Jake Paul and women's boxing. That's their identity right now. And they've done a phenomenal job for the women. And so how, with these allegations lingering and now coming to light 2 weeks before, how can you go through with it? And it sounds like they feel the same way. It's an impossible spot to be in.
The only part I'd say is, like, you kind of know who this guy is ahead of time. Like, this is not exactly a shocking revelation. Like, Tank Davis is, this is not the first rodeo. But I do think it's too close to the fight to really be, messing around here. Like, you got to figure out a new solution.
And so there's been multiple reports regarding people that they've reached out to. Names like Ryan Garcia have been brought up. Terrence Crawford has been brought up. Francis Ngannou has been brought up. And Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ today, and he did confirm that he was contacted. And the quote was, "How can they go from Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? It makes no sense." He was like, quote, "We think about you to fight Jake." I'm like, what? Which Jake? Bro, come on, don't disrespect me like that.
What the fuck is that?
That might have been the most timely "what the F is that" of all time. What do you guys think about that stance from Francis? Because actually, there's a part of me that thinks, take the fight, you knock him out, you'll be like 65 pounds bigger than him, and it's a nice little feather in your cap.
I think that was a great backup solution. I think Francis versus Jake is a great fight.
If it goes all
Compelling,
according to
too.
plan, like he should theoretically get paid a bunch of money, knock out Jake Paul, and make off like a bandit. There is always the world where it goes awry. If he were to drop the fight to Jake Paul, that would
Right,
be
but I mean,
close.
you can literally say that about any fight. Are you just saying that the risk is greater than the reward?
I don't think so.
In my eyes, losing to Jake Paul is worse than losing to Anthony Joshua.
Chael Sonnen gave his view on the situation and questioned why Jake Paul's team and media are reacting so strongly to the lawsuit. He explained that Gervonta Davis has not been proven guilty and therefore should not be treated as if he is. Sonnen believes that Jake Paul is overreacting by calling off the fight before any official ruling. According to him, boxing has always involved fighters with legal and personal controversies, but matches still go on as planned. He suggested that Jake is using the controversy as an excuse to avoid a dangerous opponent. Sonnen's comments created debate among fans, with some agreeing that the fight should have continued, while others argued that Netflix and Jake made the right call to protect their image.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in. I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
Rolly Romero quickly stepped in and volunteered to replace Gervonta Davis. He posted online saying he would be ready within a week to face Jake Paul. Romero confidently said he could knock Jake out and end all talk about Jake being a real boxer. His challenge caught attention across social media, with fans debating whether it would be a fair matchup. Raleigh is known for his power and bold personality, and his willingness to take the fight immediately shows his desire to stay active. Jake Paul has not responded officially, but Romero's offer brought excitement to the discussion and kept fans interested in who might eventually step into the ring.
Important announcement. I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. Bro, I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. I knocked out. Bro. Jake Paul gets knocked out cold by me, bro.
Analysts from multiple boxing shows argued that Jake Paul's criticism of Gervonta Davis was hypocritical. They pointed out that the lawsuit against Gervonta is a civil case, not a criminal one, and therefore does not make him guilty automatically. Some reminded viewers that Jake himself has faced similar accusations in the past involving his former girlfriend. They said Jake should not act like he is morally superior when he also has a controversial record outside the ring. This comparison made the situation even more complicated. Many fans started questioning Jake's true motives behind canceling the fight, suggesting he might be using the lawsuit as a public relations excuse rather than a genuine concern for values.
If I thought he did it twice and we forgave him for that and you got better, you seek help and etc., I can, I forgive him for it.
Bruh.
How you know Jake Paul didn't know that?
Jake Paul knew.
Jake Paul 100% knew that.
September 19th, 2017, arrest warrant, first degree assault. September 14th, 2018, arrested in Washington, D.C. February 1st, 2020, Davis arrested on domestic assault. March 22nd, 2021, indicted on 14 counts allegedly causing a serious crash. December 27th, 2022, days before a fight, arrested and jailed in Florida, domestic battery. July 11th, 25, taken into custody following a battery charge. October 31st, 25, Davis was involved in a civil fight with his girlfriend. Shut up, Jake Paul. You knew what you was doing.
He does not get this excuse whatsoever. Also, whenever you look at what Jake Paul has done since coming into the sport of boxing, he has been a champion for women in the sport. He has also been a champion of equal fighter pay and whatnot, right? All of these different things that he's done. He's gone to Dana White directly for trying to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that helps out fighters get. He's gone to so many different people. He's an extremely knowledgeable person whenever it comes to the sport that he's hyper obsessed with and turned his career from a Disney star and a YouTuber into a boxer. He knew about these issues already.
Correct.
He knew that this was a farcical fight in the first place.
Yeah.
This is a 7-weight class difference in real boxing. No, absolutely not. It should not have been a fight that was happening in the first place. But even then, after all of these things going on right now, Jake Paul to sit there and act as if you are all high and mighty and that I don't want to give this dude a platform to earn money. You were more than happy doing it and promoting it for months.
Paulie Malignaggi shared his thoughts and criticized Jake Paul for acting like he just discovered Gervonta Davis's past issues. Paulie said everyone in boxing already knew about Tank's controversies, including videos that showed his questionable behavior. He pointed out that Jake still signed the contract to fight him despite knowing everything. According to Paulie, Jake's decision to back out now and pretend to take a moral stand does not make sense. He believes Jake is using the situation to save face and control the media narrative. Paulie also mentioned that if Jake wanted to prove his professionalism, he should have either stayed committed to the fight or avoided signing it from the beginning. His comments reflected a strong belief that Jake is trying to protect his reputation rather than take responsibility for his choices.
Because it's, I don't know, it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. He had already had this history. He's trying to be better. And this is something that had already happened in the past, right? I mean, this was already known when they signed.
Yeah, he wasn't arrested.
He did this prior to this being signed. So you already knew this happened. It was regurgitated as a civil suit, but it was already something that everybody knew had happened in the past. So it's not like something new happened after he signed the fight. So that's what I don't understand, and that's why I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that the kids still lose out on it that way for that reason. Because I don't know, to me it doesn't add up. It already happened. You knew it happened, then you made the fight anyway. So now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yeah, the history was already there.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, The girl now is coming with a civil suit.
Yes.
She probably saw that he signed the Jake Paul fight.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.